Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the extraordinary life and legacy of Dr. P J Abdul Kalam.
A truly fascinating figure.
Absolutely. He's known by two incredible titles, right? The Missile Man of India, for all his scientific work,
Groundbreaking work, yeah.
and also the People's President, which speaks volumes about his connection with, well, everyone.
Exactly. And our mission today, I suppose, is to unpack that journey, go from his, quite humble beginnings right up to being this national icon.
Yeah, we'll pull out the key bits, the insights from his story. Okay, let's unpack this. Get ready for some, I think, truly surprising facts about a man who sort of defied expectations.
And what's really compelling here isn't just what he achieved, though that's impressive enough. It's the why, the motivation behind that dedication, that vision. We'll try and connect that to the bigger picture. National development, individual impact, all of it.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning then. He was born October 15th, 1931, Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu.
Right, into a Tamil Muslim family. And they faced, well, pretty significant hardship.
Yeah, he was the youngest kid, four brothers, one sister. His father, he owned a boat, was a local imam. His mother was a housewife.
And the family history is interesting, too. Apparently, their ancestors were quite wealthy traders, ferry operators.
Right, but then the Pamban Bridge opened, and that basically wiped out their main business.
Exactly. Huge losses. It plunged the family into, real financial difficulty.
Which leads to this incredible detail.
Yeah.
As a young boy, he was already selling newspapers to help the family income?
Yeah.
Here's where it gets really interesting. I mean, imagine starting from that kind of struggle, yet showing this incredible drive so early on.
Well, and this raises an important question, doesn't it? How did those early hardships shape him, that resilience, that dedication we see later? It must have roots there.
It seems likely. And that drive carried into his education, definitely. Sources say his grades were maybe average sometimes, but his dedication to learning, especially maths, was apparently really strong.
Right. So he went through Schwartz Higher Secondary, then St. Joseph's College for a physics degree in '54.
And then the big move in '55, Madras Institute of Technology, to study aerospace engineering. That seems crucial.
Oh, absolutely pivotal. And his first job, that was with the DRDO, the Defense Research and Development Organization, in 1958.
Designing a small hovercraft, is that right?
Yeah, but the sources suggest he wasn't quite satisfied there. Felt a bit, I don't know, unfulfilled maybe.
Like he was looking for something more.
Perhaps searching for where he could make the biggest impact, which makes his move to ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, in 1969. Well, that looks like a really significant turn.
So what does this all mean for his trajectory? It really feels like he was finding his footing, searching for where his talents could be best used.
Precisely. And ISRO seems to have been that place. It aligned his scientific genius with, India's big strategic goals.
And boy, did he make an impact there. This is really the Missile Man era starting.
Absolutely.
He led the project for India's first satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3, wasn't it?
That's the one. Successfully putting the Rohini satellite into orbit in 1980, actually. The culmination of work started in the 70s.
Right, 1980, my apologies.
Yeah.
And then through the 70s and 80s, even into the 90s, he was directing these huge missile projects. Project Devil, Project Valiant.
Yes, these were critical for developing India's missile capabilities. And apparently he secured secret funding from Prime Minister Indira Gandhi for them, bypassing the usual cabinet approvals, shows the trust placed in him.
Okay, let's unpack this. The sheer scale of his contribution here to India's defense, its space capabilities, it's just staggering.
It really is. If we connect this to the bigger picture, his scientific work was foundational. Foundational for India's strategic independence. It's standing on the world stage. It shows this deep, deep commitment to national self-reliance.
And his influence just kept growing. 1992, appointed scientific advisor to the defense minister.
And then, of course, the nuclear program contribution. He played a really key role in the 1998 Pokhran-Sishiket nuclear tests.
A defining moment for India.
Absolutely. Solidified India's nuclear status. And even the earlier 1974 test, that happened under his oversight, too. Our sources say it showed the world India's situation and power in atomic innovation.
Beyond defense, too, he had this broader vision, Technology Vision 2020.
Yes, aiming to transform India into a developed nation, focusing on technology, healthcare, education, really forward-thinking stuff.
It's just incredible. From scientist to president. He became the 11th president of India, July 2002 to July 2007.
And talk about a mandate. He won that election with a massive margin, nominated by the ruling NDA.
But supported across the aisle, too, right? Samajwadi Party, National Congress Party.
Yeah, exactly. Which probably contributed to that title, the People's President.
He was just so loved, wasn't he? For his simplicity, his vision, that dedication, and somehow he just connected with ordinary people.
He really did. And he undertook, as the sources say, uncountable works for the welfare of the people.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. How does someone make that leap? From the, intense focus of science to the rough and tumble of political leadership and still be so widely adored?
Well, I think his presidency really embodied a kind of servant leadership. It always seemed like the nation's well-being came first, even with really tough decisions.
He wasn't afraid of those, was he? Known for his courage in making calls, even controversial ones.
Definitely not. There was the Office of Profit Act, which was apparently quite a hard act for him to sign.
Can you explain that briefly? What's the context there?
Sure. The concept actually goes way back to the English Act of Settlement in 1701. The basic idea was to prevent people who held jobs or received benefits from the crown from also being in Parliament, to avoid conflicts of interest or undue influence.
Okay, so applying that principle in modern India.
Exactly. It was about maintaining separation and integrity. And signing that, navigating its implications, was complex. Then there was his decision in 2005 to impose president's rule in Bihar. That was probably one of his most debated actions.
Right. Controversial for sure.
It shows he wasn't afraid to use the powers of the presidency, even when it stirred debate. He also apparently briefly thought about a second term.
Oh, really? Didn't know that.
Yeah, but he decided against it in the end, stepped down after his 5 years.
But he didn't just retire, did he? His work continued.
Not at all. He went straight back into education, inspiration, became a visiting professor at IIM Shillong, professor at Anna University.
Right, and involved with IIM Indore, Bangalore too. Chancellor of the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology.
He just kept contributing. Launched that What Can I Give program in 2012, focusing on fighting corruption.
Okay, let's unpack this. It's so clear his impact wasn't just limited to one job, president or scientist. He kept shaping the nation's thinking, its values.
Absolutely. A great teacher, a powerful writer, always that visionary, inspiring young people. He wrote several motivational books, mainly meant for the nation's empowerment, as one source puts it.
Books like India 2020, Ignited Minds, Mission India.
The Luminous Sparks, Wings of Fire, his autobiography.
Wings of Fire was huge, wasn't it? Translated into so many languages.
13 languages besides English, yeah. Reached a massive audience.
And India 2020. That laid out a real strategy, didn't it, for India to become a, quote, superpower.
It did. Focused on key areas. Food and agriculture, better healthcare, IT, communication systems, getting enough electricity, self-reliance in high-tech fields. It was a proper blueprint.
And the recognition he received. It's quite a list.
Oh, incredible. The Padma Bhushan in 81, Padma Vibhushan in 90.
Then the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award in 1997. For his tremendous effort towards the nation.
And the Indira Gandhi Award for National Integration that same year, plus the Veer Savarkar Award, Sastra Ramanujan Prize.
Internationally, too, the Von Braun Award from the National Space Society in 2013.
Yeah, and honorary doctorates from something like 40 universities worldwide. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that huge range of awards just highlights how profound and varied his impact was. Science, leadership, inspiration. He really did rise from those humble beginnings to become this major figure in nation building.
Any interesting personal details?
Well, he was famously India's first bachelor president.
My man.
And a vegetarian. Apparently started because of money constraints when young, but then he just came to prefer it.
And then his passing. It was so sudden, wasn't it?
Or terribly sudden. July 27th, 2015, he was 83. He collapsed from a cardiac arrest while giving a speech.
At IIM Shillong, speaking to students, doing what he loved.
Exactly. Delivering a speech for the youth. The nation just went into mourning. His body was flown to Delhi, then Rameswaram, his hometown, draped in the flag.
Huge crowds attended his funeral, right?
An estimated 35,000 people. Just shows the depth of feeling. He really became, immortal in the hearts of people. His life story still inspires so many, leaving these models and motivations, as the source material says.
It's an incredible story. Dr. Kalam's journey, it really is this powerful testament to vision, to resilience, and just dedicated public service.
Absolutely. His life is such a strong reminder, I think, that real leadership is about inspiring people, pushing relentlessly for a better future. Doesn't matter where you start or what obstacles you face.
So what does this all mean for you, listening? I think his story is just a powerful reminder that even when you're facing struggles, real struggles, dedication, and having a clear vision, well, they can lead to incredible impact, not just for yourself, but maybe even for a whole country.
Yeah.
Dr. Kalam always stressed the potential of young people, the power of knowledge. He saw India becoming a superpower through tech, through education. So maybe, as you think about his legacy, consider this. How does his blueprint for progress, built on self-reliance, lifting everyone up, how does that still resonate today, not just in India, but maybe globally? It offers lessons for anyone, any society, trying to make real, meaningful change.